think that's some cool stuff, man, right there. Beast of the East, starting this season this Saturday, 7 p.m. We got Duane Martin with us tonight. Surprise, surprise. I sent the link over to Matt Palmer, but I am more than sure he's little leaguing or something tonight. So, Kendra, usually up top, now in the bottom here. So
I had some technical difficulties. I got kicked down.
that's a girl.
It's all right. It'll be fine.
Move you around, I think.
Yeah. Weather's fine down here just as well. So
yeah, something we can do that. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna go over some things. I got some pictures to go dig up here while these two are chit chatting about some stuff here. If anybody hasn't been paying any attention or didn't know, the Lebanon area fairgrounds, wow, some significant improvements, wider track. The lighting looks very, very incredible. So I cannot wait to get there Saturday and put it to the test. So weather's looking good up that way. Not so much down this way, but hey, that's an hour and 20 minutes away, so we'll take it. And got our finger. There's no reason to cross our fingers. We're good to go, Duane. We're going to go.
Yeah. 98% cloud cover for Saturday. AccuWeather says possibly 1/10 of an inch in the afternoon, and in the evening it goes the whole way down to like 0.04 of an inch. So it might be a little bit thick, but I don't see any reason. Actually, I'll read you the quote right off of my weather. It says cloudy with a couple of showers. Any rain will do little to alleviate persistent dryness. So I don't think we're going to worry about a soggy track.
No.
So
no, I think you'd be okay for sure. We'll be there. I know that. We will be there. Mikey's coming with me. Guess I better be checking with him to make sure he's still on board for that. But you better be.
We're pretty excited about everything going on there. It's making the stress level go up just a little bit because we're not working with our same old anymore. So we're gonna get together on Friday evening and see if we can work out some of our minor details. The project isn't finished. It isn't completely finished yet. So we do have stands. We won't have grass around the stands. Our new registration and announcing is not built yet, and we're still working out the details on how we want to set up our pads. We're putting double scale pads in, and so at this point we're just going to wing it and try to find a good location for them and to work out the logistics on how we're going to scale and line up without causing a lot of problems. And new lights. Can't believe how long we've waited and wished for new lights. I think we were a little bit naive when we first started this, and we thought, hey, after our first year, we'll have enough of money saved up. We can say, hey, here's some money, and we'll start the whole new lights thing because the track needs new lights. And guess what? That didn't happen. Anybody that thinks they're going to get rich in truck pulling is
that's how that always goes.
Dreaming.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So
we're having that same issue at Franklin County. I'm part of that club, and it's you set money aside for one thing, and the next thing you know, this roller broke or this scraper needs new teeth, or nothing that you set aside money for it ever goes to that. So I feel your pain there, but hopefully JR can get those pictures, because I've seen a couple floating around on the old
working on it
Book of Face, and I was like, it's really improving out there.
Yeah, the last one hasn't been floated on social media yet. I did send it to JR, so yeah, we're pretty excited about the whole thing. I actually didn't personally see it yet.
Do you want to go over your classes for the weekend?
Yeah, we can do that. I'll go over the running order actually.
Oh, running order, folks, has been decided.
We have class.
Have you got a puller line up yet?
Not quite.
Well, how far? What you waiting on?
Still waiting on them last minute guys.
waiting on pre-registration link to post online so they can start signing up. This is running order on the tracks. Our announcer's side track is our north track. This time we're going to be starting off with street gas. Then we're moving on to pro street gas. I think that's going to be a Snyder County rules class. Then light pro super farm, 9500 turbo farm stock. The turbo farm stock is a points class, and I'm not even sure what the organization is there. It's a class that Jacob Moats got together. Okay. And then the last class on the announcer's side is 13,000 farm stock. Pit side is going to start with Wild Street Diesel, 2.6 diesel, 3.0 diesel, and then we're having a Run What You Brung exhibition. Okay. Street semi and pro street semi. So those are our classes for this weekend.
Is the Run What You Brung trucks only, or trucks, tractors? What's the Run What You Brung?
That's a good question. I think it's going to be trucks only.
Okay.
I mean,
if we guys were watching,
yeah.
I'm wondering.
Yeah, if we do get tractors, we'll do exhibition hooks, but okay. I don't think that our truck Run What You Brung sled setting will work very well for some of the tractors.
Okay.
So we already have we do have the 85-95 combo class. Mm-hmm. So that's our running order. Gates, pit gates open at 2 p.m. Spectator gates at 6. The pool starts at 7. $10, $15, 10 and up, and under 10 is free. So, yeah, I write that stuff all the time for all my advertising, and I can't, like, when I got to say it, I got to look at my paper because I don't want to mess it up. So, JR, do you have a picture of the lights?
Funny you should ask.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
How about that?
That looks like a pretty big facility by now.
Doesn't even look like the same place. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That whole grass hill's gone.
Yep, the big rock hill's gone. The registration had to get moved because the track emptied out right where the registration was sitting. And as far as I know, some of the hill got taken off there, so there won't be as much uphill at the end of the track. I will get to see it on Friday evening, so at that point I'll know a little bit more about what's all going on.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday. I can't wait to get there and check it out.
It almost looks like a big fancy like high school football stadium without the football field. Like with the bleachers on both sides, like that's just kind of the vibes I'm getting, like how wide it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work for me. If we have all this room now, I'm going to have to run a little bit further to get from one track to the next.
I was getting ready to say that. Yeah, you're going to get a good workout now.
I was talking with Matt. We were working in the pulling truck on Tuesday evening. Yeah, last night. And we were talking about it, and we were discussing on probably leaving our track width the same. I don't know if we need more than 25 or 30 feet of track, which is pretty wide already. And then
usually a 30 foot.
I was gonna say, I think 30 foot's the
30 is
the normal. Yeah.
If you were going by like a PPL or something like that, the industry standard is 30 foot.
So if I think we were a hair under 30 foot the way we ran it before, so that we could have 10-foot buffer zones from the walls in, and that way the sled wasn't as quick of a chance of the sled hammering the wall if somebody got wild. And then we were running about 5 or 6 feet in the middle. So,
wow, you guys are really looking out for your star photographer. That's good.
Now what did you see? The world's best photographer.
Oh,
I was surprised. Goodness. I was surprised you didn't talk him into coming on tonight. He's out and about somewhere.
He's a busy man.
Sorry, I've been. I honestly didn't know if we were going to have a show tonight because of hey, but
Yeah.
that's going tomorrow.
Well, I'm glad you could fit it in tonight because my
Yeah.
schedule wasn't going to allow.
Yep.
I shouldn't say it wasn't going to allow. It wasn't going to work very well.
Right. Yep, we're all good here, but yeah, you have quite a barrage of classes.
I'm not even
Yeah.
sure if I announced
Whole
this.
feng shui. How you like that word? The whole feng shui.
Jeez. Getting fancy over here.
Well, maybe our dream of having an epic event there, an epic event someday might come true if we have a bigger, grander facility to do it. So who knows?
There is chat possibly about that. So
That's
I know of anyway.
Oh, so apparently I'm not in the loop.
Not here, but you will be.
No, it's that was something that we've talked about years ago already. Actually, our first year, or I should say our second year, we were already thinking about having a grand finale event there. It would be the ideal event to get enough of people in and have a big pool. But right now, it just seems like some of the some classes and some classes and some organizations are semi-life support, and so to get a big participation and make it worthwhile, we might have to wait a year or two until stuff smooths out and comes back around, and then we go from there.
Yeah, we were. I mean, I know there's some people that aren't together yet, still waiting on this or that or whatever. But our numbers were a little light our first pool 2 weeks ago. But like our modified class, we have 3. But I'm gonna tell you what, that was 3 of the funnest hooks you could have at an event. Those 3 guys put it down, man.
So Mackenzie was 1, right?
Mackenzie was first. Don Dean was second. And Lenny was third.
Okay.
With Radio Reactor, but they all 3 had monster passes. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Crowd loved it. Quality versus quantity.
Last fall, I had the opportunity to help Joey at Snyder County do the flagging on their championship weekend, and I got to flag 2-wheel drives and the modifieds. And I wasn't sure which way I wanted to run when Mackenzie come flying down the track with 3 engines. That is some insane. I mean, it's all sensory.
Yeah.
You want to close your eyes and just turn. But
yeah, he had a big pass there. Yeah.
Yep.
But Tommy Owens did too.
Yeah, that was the 2-wheel drives are pretty fun too.
I mean, they'll rattle your skin a little bit when they come by you. Yep.
We at our August show, we added a class to it. I don't know if we talked about it the last time I was on or not, but we're bringing the
Appalachian
super modified, the super modified from Appalachian Outlaws, and that is a combo class that has I think alcohol. Yeah, I think you can run gas, diesel, and alcohol, or whatever. I'm not even sure.
It's almost like a run what you brung, I guess.
Yeah, it's their, I don't know, the full pool style of open class or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been paying attention to who's all signed up for that, but that could be a pretty interesting weekend. We're hoping that we had a little bit of a conflict on schedule, and so we decided we'll change it up a little bit, since there's a high likelihood that most of the East Coast trucks, or whoever's runs with East Coast, normally stays at West End. And since we're overlapping with West End that weekend, we decided we'll change it up. And see if we can still have a couple of trucks in that class. So we'll see how that works out.
I'm looking up the rules for that super modified. If anybody wonders why I have a question look on my face.
We're used to it.
Pretty open.
Yeah, it is. It's
a very
little bit of anything flies.
Very open rule set here.
On Saturday evening, our first class on the pit side is going to be Wild Street Diesel. We were starting with 2.6 and going to 3.0 for the last year or two, trying to get trucks that are in points that have a longer drive, getting them out of there so that they can hit the road and get out of there, and then doing our massive 25 truck Wild Street class at the end. But it always makes it pretty tough for the 2.6 guys to start on a virgin track. So we're going to be running the Wild Street first and doing it from lightest to heaviest, on that side. So I think that'll help us flow through the show, especially when it comes to loading the sled.
It will help.
Yeah. Anytime you can save time, especially when it comes to the sled and everything like that, the downtime in between classes, that saves your event. It really does.
Yeah, we try to make sure that we're moving that we're fairly fluid with all our movements, especially in getting trucks hooked up to the sled. We have a pretty good group of guys that seems to get trucks hooked up and moving, that we have a pretty short amount of time on a turnaround, especially if we're flipping from one to the other. So I think that's something that we don't stress enough, is the 2-track deal. It makes stuff, the logistics of everything works quite well. The crowd doesn't sit there and bore out I shouldn't say bore out, but the announcer doesn't have to hold the crowd if there's a lot of downtime. And
I'm sure. Will Darren do any announcing?
Yeah, Darren. I think Darren has one show that he's not going to be able to make, but maybe we'll have to go south of the Mason-Dixon and see if we can find somebody to come in and help us out.
What's the date on that?
No,
I have the dates here. So
the date that he's not going to be there, I'm not 100% sure. I got to figure that out, because I was thinking of asking your buddy there, the gas guy, to help out. Maybe. Yeah. But
hopefully it's not May 20th. He can't be there.
I don't think it's going to be. Well, either way, if we do run into pinch, our announcer that is in the announcer's stand has a lot of experience, and he's fairly good at keeping. He's really good at keeping everything flowing.
Hey.
So.
I'll do it, and I can be 11 East to the East best announcer.
There you go. Well, you're really putting a lot of pressure on me. I don't have much time to get Facebook posts out, but
I saw that and started laughing. I was like, "Oh boy, I'm gonna have fun with that one."
So I was sitting. I don't know how much advertising that both of you are advertising or doing all this kind of stuff that both of you do, but I sit here for hours on end and I'll write stuff. I look for pictures. I try to figure out if I've done it before. I got to go back and look at posts from month back to make sure I'm not overlapping, and then I'll write something and I look at it for a while and I was like, okay, so how can I make this interesting and unique from the one before? Because I'm doing 3 posts a week. And finally, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to have to go and just go crazy, and it might give some kickback, but it might give a couple of laughs. And so I decided that's what I'm going to do. We do have one.
The worst thing you could do is not post anything, regardless of reposting them. Like that video, from now till I leave Saturday, every day I'm going to post that video.
Yep.
So
yeah,
you got to get the stuff out there, because you get different visitors every day. So if anybody has any questions for Duane or myself or Kendra,
Everybody's doing hay tonight, or am I not in the? I'm not in the comments.
Well, there aren't any comments.
there
which
are
is
no
very
comments.
strange.
Everybody's sleeping.
Very unusual.
No Lynn Clark, no April, no Chris.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh, that's all right.
I've scratched
You know what?
so much I've done and drew blood on my left arm.
Uh-oh. It's a pretty nice day outside, and so that probably changes it up. Everybody has something to do when it's nice outside.
Yeah. They're not wanting to sit around and watch the computer.
But the thing is,
I know a lot of people that
will
watch
later.
this the morning after. Yeah.
They will, yeah. It does get several hits, like the next morning or something like that. So
I was looking for something on my phone here. And of course, when I try to look very fast, I skip over names. And here we go. All right. That's what happens when you have too many text messages. I was looking for my radio advertisement.
oh, okay.
Well, while you're looking at that, I want to hit some interstate events that are happening this weekend.
Yep.
Interstate actually has 2 points pools happening this weekend. One is in Mont Alto, Pennsylvania, and the other is in Luray, Virginia.
Hooray.
Mont Alto will hit first, only because it's first on the schedule. Like I said, it's going to be this Saturday at 6 p.m. $10 for adults 6 and 12 years old is $5, and 5 and under is free. Going to be having quite a lineup of classes here. 4,500 small block trucks, 7,800 modified, 7,700 light limited turbos, both the 1850 and 2050 mini rods, and a 9,500 and 13.5 farm stock class. Again, that's at the Mont Alto Firemen's Fairgrounds. And then down in Luray, also starting at 6 p.m. Same prices there, $10, 6 to 12 is $5, and 5 and under is free. This is going to be there at the Page County Fairgrounds. They're going to be having the 11,000 hot farm, 10,000 pound pro farm, 8,500 mod turbo, the 6,200 two-wheel drive trucks, 8,500 wild streets, which is the new interstate class, 9,000, 11,000 farm stock class, and open diesel trucks. Again, that's going to be in Luray at the Page County Fairgrounds. Both of these events are for firemen, the benefit of the local fire company. So definitely some good causes. If you are in the area, either Mont Alto, Pennsylvania, Luray, Virginia, go and support the local fire companies. So I guess all of our pools this week are like about 2 hours apart, scattered there across the states.
Yeah.
So are both the Mont Alto and the Luray pool both interstate hooks?
Yeah, so the
same
all
weekend.
But the 6,000 pound classics have a hook this weekend.
I gotcha.
So
That's
all
good.
of our different points classes have hooks this weekend, which is pretty cool.
So turnout for that 85 Wild Street, has it been pretty good?
This will actually be the first hook for them as a points class. When we spoke to the people who really were in charge of getting the rules together and everything like that, they had 9 committed trucks, and that was just friend talking to friend. So I know that once they were sure that Interstate was going to take them on, there was going to be a lot more discussions going around. There's a lot of people around here that pull diesel trucks. And the purpose of the Wild Street was just to get safety rules.
Yeah.
So it was definitely something that needed to happen. Not that there was bad accidents, but there was definitely a lot of potential out there. So it was kind of the whole get it under control before it became a problem. So
yeah,
that was the purpose of the 8,500 Wild Street.
I would say that our coming up and implementing our Wild Street was probably one of the things that I was a little bit more unsure about, because if you have such a wide range of trucks entering a class, it can be a little bit of anything. And where do you draw the line on safety equipment? If it has to be a street driven truck, it can be street driven, but it could make over 1,000 horsepower being a twin or a twin turbo truck with a lot of fuel. So where do you make that distinction on where it needs drive shaft loops and safety equipment? So it's kind of tough.
Oh, but, you make it as, if you want to run, this is what you have. If you're a 1,000 horsepower truck, you need to have that safety.
I'm not even
this world with, you know, somebody's there taking a video and it is immediately on the internet.
Yeah.
Safety 100% has to be number one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're working on Wild Street at Mason-Dixon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have an event June 2nd that is very tentative. Very tentative date. There's a possibility that date may get canceled, and then we'll move on to the Fair Week events and then September. But I'm not quite sure just yet, and we're still working on the Wild Street rules. Basically, we'll mirror the Buck or Joey's.
Snyder County.
Yeah, Snyder County. So I have yet to look at Beast of the East Wild Street rules. What? You're pretty much in line with those two, or?
Yeah, I think we're pretty close to what Joey has. You can look at them. Oftentimes, what we'll do is we'll sit together as our team members, 5 team members, and we'll go over all the rules. And if we feel like there's somewhere there's a gray area that is an issue, we'll alter it slightly. Yeah. So I'm not gonna. I would say that our rules are probably pretty close to the same, but as each year goes by, we'll change little things here and there. So
you always see something that needs fixed.
Yeah. Like for me, if I'm doing a rule comparison, I got to print both of them out and actually have both papers side by side in order to compare. I was just going over our Wild Street. Our Wild Street diesel for the last pull of last year had 20 trucks in it. And so I was a little bit concerned that if we start bringing this radical stuff off the street into this class, that it would cause an issue, but our numbers went up, and I've maybe had 1 or 2 messages from people that are not too excited about not having an entry-level class.
That is something we're kind of concerned about, that stock diesel. You know what I mean?
Just to get them guys in it.
To have it or Wild Street. We're not sure. That's the only question mark. And I haven't heard back from the other members with Mason-Dixon. But my thought was to keep the not necessarily street diesel, and you got to define. We used to have a work stock diesel at Mason-Dixon, and it was supported fairly well. So I'm afraid if we're inclusive with them in the Wild Street, I'm afraid we might lose some locals. And we really don't want to do that. So I'm not sure what we're going to end up doing with that. That's the one big question mark.
And my thoughts, and this might be the unpopular opinion of the group, and I'm okay with that, and I'll stand by what I say. When people are saying, you know, they want an entry level pulling class, that doesn't mean you bring your vehicle off the street onto the track, because that is not a pulling vehicle. Right. And to me, an entry level pulling class is you take the time to put all the necessary safety equipment on your vehicle to make it a pulling vehicle. You know, nobody driving a hot farm tractor is taking their tractor out into the field to continue to use it. When you are talking about an entry level pulling class, to me, that is, you have your street vehicle and you have your pulling vehicle. And, you know, pulling is not for the weak. It is not for the cheap. And if safety is not your number one priority, probably not going to make it very far in the pulling world, because, you know, the safety at the Wild Street level is bare bones compared to safety at, a 2.6, a 3.0, a run what you brung, everything like that. So
to me, a street stock is not sitting there building boost on the line. Lebanon, I keep hearing a train whistle. Something.
Not me.
I hope it ain't me. Hold on.
It's definitely coming through my headphones. Hi, Chris.
I don't have any trains.
All I know is the fan is running on my computer, so there's a possibility that the microphone's picking up on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway,
but it's been running since we started.
I don't know. Who knows? I had a John Deere rattling in my ears all day. But anyway, I know Lebanon had a rule. If you were in the street diesel or stock diesel, whatever they used to, I guess it was work stock, because I know originally when Mike Evans was running the show at Delta, we really went alongside Lebanon quite a bit with rules. Mike pulled there a lot, and their rules met with a lot of other clubs up north of there and stuff, etc. But anyway, I do know if I watched a couple guys get the red flag and go, because when you get the green flag and you get ready to leave that line, you don't sit there and spool. You got to go. I mean, obviously you can tell if somebody's building boost or not. And some of them got red flagged and disqualified. So,
well, through all my travels, I've actually helped tech at the Buck street class quite a few years ago, and it is just total chaos when it comes to teching turbochargers.
Oh yeah,
and all the crazy stuff in that class. And Scott pretty much laid down the law and said, this is the way it's going to be. If I catch you coming on the track and your bump stops ain't spaced out or this or that, you're out. And there was that's how it had to be in order to get guys to actually listen, because there was so many of them and he didn't want to be messing around in the show. But when it came down to teching turbos, there was all kinds of drama. There was video arguments, yelling, and it was just pure chaos for for a half an hour or so. After the pool was totally over and everybody had left, there was still two people trying to hash it out, and one's accusing one of cheating, and let's pull the truck apart. And
Diesel Power Fest was always an interesting night sometimes.
And so Shannon, our one of our partners, our tech guy, did a lot of teching at the Buck for that Diesel Power Fest class when Mike still had it. And he was the first guy to say, let's get away from this stock turbo stuff, because it's almost impossible to satisfy people. And the tech guy's stuck between a rock and a hard place, because sometimes he can't prove it. Stuff changes so much. I mean, turbo stuff is just insanity.
Yeah.
Did anybody?
That's another reason why we're considering putting that street class in the Wild Street. So,
did anybody pick up on any 3.0 turbo stuff in the last couple of weeks?
The Snyder County class, or
no, across the country?
There's
been a little bit
of the Cloverleaf thing.
Yeah, the Clover.
Yeah, know all about it. Yep.
And I seen some pictures, and I'm like, I'm not exactly sure what I'm even looking at. So who knows? I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't show up in our area.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to run the latest and greatest, but whatever. I do have this. Can you hear background on my input? Like people talking or the kids yelling?
Very,
I heard your
very
kids
little.
once, but that was it.
I gave them strict warnings to keep their pie holes shut.
It's fine. It's not now nothing to worry about. It's all good.
Anyway, I'm going to see if you can hear this off of my phone. I'm not exactly sure where the microphone is on this thing. I think it's on the top beside the camera.
Probably.
Saturday, May 20th at 7 p.m.
Can you hear it? Is it right?
Beast of the East Truck and Tractor Pulls at the Lebanon Expo Center and Fairgrounds. Bring the whole family to watch the ground-shaking horsepower on dual tracks. Tickets are only $15 for ages 10 and up. Under 10 is free. Gates open at 5, with pulls starting at 7. You don't want to miss this. Sponsored by Hassler Diesel. Online at beastoftheeastpulls.com.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was, you type it out on the computer, and then they somehow, I don't know if that's actually auto-generated or if somebody, it's probably a computer-generated
The voice.
advertising. Yeah.
I was gonna say, because that's like a very popular like sound.
Yeah, you probably speak it into the program, and the program
Yeah.
alters the.
Oh, I gotcha.
Alters the voice. Yeah.
The
I'm
way
still
I-
looking for something like that myself, actually.
The way
so I
I
can start doing those kind of advertisements. Anyway.
actually, hey, stop. Oh, I went off of it. It's gone. Okay. There we go. I somehow started up when I was trying to get out of it.
Going back to that Diesel Power Fest thing, I remember one night hearing somebody back in the. I know who it was, and I'm not going to say any names, but they were back there pounding away. I mean, they were hammering away, and I'm thinking it was probably for the turbo housing or something. Something wasn't quite right with the. I don't know, but it was. I kept hearing that bang, bang. I just laughed. I don't know what they were beating and banging on, but it was. They were
making something.
Intent on making something right.
Oh, no.
Something.
That's crazy.
That's been a good while back, though.
We heard some horror stories this year already about some track issues, and so let me think about it. The first one was, I'm not sure if it was an overwet or if it was a layered issue, like where the dirt was layered on and not knitted in. And so that was a little bit of a heads up for us since we're redoing our track and we're adding dirt in. So we're actually mixing the dirt in with the old track, and it's getting supposed to be stirred in. I was hoping that we would have like a giant rototiller to put in the back of a tractor to really stir it in. But when they're adding the dirt, they're actually working it in right away with the big tillage equipment.
That'll make it.
So
yeah,
we're hoping that we don't have that same issue, because it's always if people have all these opinions on how you should build a track, and you need to put the dirt in last year, and you need to
no idea.
Need to put 5% manure on it and seed cover crop, and then you got to work it in. And
I mean, that's not a bad idea, but you can make a good track without doing all that too.
And so at this point, our track is just getting finished, and so we're hoping that everything works out. I think the hardest part is we know that we had a good base under the track, and if we would work it 8 inches deep, or let's say 8 inches, we'd have a good track at 8 inches. Now with the wider track coming in, there's a higher likelihood that you could have a little bit of soft under it, depending on how far the excavation went or the dynamiting and stuff like that. So it's not beat and hammered in, and it there's a possibility that there could be a little bit of a base issue. But I don't know. People build tracks on anything anymore.
Trying to figure out where you're taking this show, Duane.
Oh, well, I'm just being honest.
Never mind. Had to have a little chuckle off the screen there.
Oh, that's all right. We try to make the best show we possibly. Make it the best show we can. So there's a lot of little thoughts that go into that, and if we have a whole hour to talk about it, there's a lot of stuff. What I'm doing is I'm trying to stir the pot a little bit, see if I can get suggestions from people that have done it before, like JR or Kendra, but no suggestions.
Sounds like you're doing it right.
And mixing it in is never mind.
Give yourself plenty of time. Remember, you're working with new dirt.
Yeah.
On
The
Saturday.
track will improve with events on it.
Yeah.
You can't expect gold the first time out. You're not going to have it, but it will. Mason-Dixon is prime proof. We put fresh dirt out there, and Rick Krause had a lot of input on that. He was there early that day with the sled, and what a difference! And they took it, run with it, and it slowly started really mixing its way in with the old stuff. But we don't want to get into that old stuff, trust me, because it was junk, groundhog dirt, literally. But
was that an East Coast pool last year?
Yes,
I think I was there for that. And
not the first event.
The very first event was not in East. No, it's only during the fair. Oh, the first event was way overwatered. Lots of lessons learned on that one for Derek and the crew. It's all big. And they got a handle on it now. Ever since then, it's not been a problem.
Honestly, if you can go Friday and do like a track prep and put the tracks together, so you have that one learning day ahead of you, that would, if you got the time and the people and the equipment, I would suggest that. I know we did that at Mont Alto when we got new dirt a couple years ago. Went out, I think it was like the weekend before or something. We didn't have a pool, and the stuff had to go over there anyway, so we just went over and worked it, and it's a good thing we did because we learned some lessons. So,
and I've seen tracks worked and watered the night before, basically ready to go, get covered overnight, and uncover that track the next evening, and it is a total mess. It's weird, I've seen that happen a couple times. Snyder County gets away with it. They build their track the night before, and they cover it up, and it works for them.
We're how many weeks ahead of the Snyder County pool? I seen Joey was working his track and putting water on already.
Yeah, 2 weeks out.
Yeah. When we used to run a drag race portion in the afternoon before our evening pool, and we had some issues. The way we put our water on wholesale. We don't mess around when we put water on. And so if we needed to add a little bit of water between the afternoon and the evening, we couldn't put a small enough amount on to make it right. We would overwet. And so we had a lot of issues with overwetting when we'd transition in, because we'd rip it up and we had to put a little bit of water in because it was dry and dusty on the top from the drag racing. And that was some of the reason why we came up with the idea just to can it completely, because I don't know, with 5 guys in a big event like that, it's kind of hard to do 2 things in one day. And
even with widening the facility, you still don't have enough room to drag race like down the center and have a track on each end. You still don't have enough width to make that happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys asking about it all the time. So I don't know. We still have the drag race equipment, and we have people contacting us here and there about it. So I'm not sure. We might do a drag race event for someone this year, but I'm not going to really say anything yet because I'm not sure if we're committed to it 100%. So, Billy Smeltzer. Billy Smeltzer is the guy that's, I think, behind most of everything going on there with the track widening and Woodland Contractors. So he's a puller. He's normally he's been running that skid loader grader rake that we run at the end. Oh, you heard the kid screaming.
Kendra, could you please tell Norm to keep it down in the background, please, and give him a pickle?
Jacob.
It's okay. It's okay, Duane. It was perfect timing because it gave me a good Norman pickle joke.
Where's Norman at? In the background.
He just heard him screaming?
No, he better be working on that truck. So
when we
had some breakage, so it needs to get some.
What did you break? Or did I miss out on it?
I'm at liberty to say.
Okay.
I'll tell you off the air.
That's fine. Yeah. We're in the process right now of redoing. I guess again, I got to be careful what I'll say on here because I might get yelled at. But
hurry up! Get your finger on the mute button.
No, that's all right. safety equipment. You talked about safety equipment. We're getting rid of our cast aluminum bell housing and our Kevlar blanket, and we're going to a full blow-proof can setup. So we a new mid plate and the can assembly, all of that. And we're also going to a new engine, obviously, because the last one didn't like us anymore.
Farewell.
So we have we're switching from a early 5.9 to a later model 6.7 block. So the mounting is a little bit different. So working all that stuff up, reinforcing the frame a little bit more. So
Cool.
hopefully in a month or two we can bring the thing out and see if it still runs, or see if we can make it run.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's definitely not still running. Not with a crack in
No.
the block like you guys had, but
Oh, by the way, in case anybody wondered, building a pulling truck is a money racket. You go out and you buy a pulling engine and you strip it the whole way down to bare block and start over and spend all that money to bring it back in the way it needs to be. So you basically for us, we basically took somebody else's setup and we took it apart, and now we have all these parts to sell off because nothing was right for the way we wanted to set it up. So yeah.
yep, like I said, it is not for the weak and it is not for the cheap.
No. No.
When I tell people what I do, and they're like, "Oh, so how much do you get when you win a hook? When you win a pull?" I said, "Well, first of all, you have to win the pull, and then if you get something,
Yay, fuel money, and I might be able to eat a hot dog."
and they're like, "So it doesn't pay?" I'm like, "Does any kind of motorsports pay?"
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Depends.
Depends on which part of the business you're in.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that either, but
If you're the photographer or the promoter or the puller, right? Or maybe the best photographer in the country.
I don't know.
I've
Y'all
often
the ones
said the
y'all
only
paying.
person- I've
How's
often
that?
said the only person who makes money out of pool is the announcer. 'Cause he
Yeah.
gets paid to be there. He has
Yep.
the best seat in the house, and he gets to
Yep.
watch the whole show.
So that's why you like announcing, Kendra.
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
was a one and done announcer. I am perfectly fine being on the starting line or the finish line. Yep, I'm good.
Yeah, I'd be well. Other than flagging, I'd be lost not being at the finish line with a
Yeah.
camera in front of me.
Yeah, I was on my way to Snyder County one weekend, and Joey calls me and is like, "Hey, our announcer is going to be late. He's not going to be there right away. I need you to announce for me. Can you?" And I was like, "I guess I could, but telling you what, I was just about ready to turn around and head back home again because I wasn't sure if I could, if my nerves or if I could handle myself."
Yeah, but it was rectified till you got there. So
Yeah, it was taken care of, so everything worked out. But still, if you would, the best way to get into announcing is to sit down beside somebody else, and if you do that a couple of times, then you're in. And so you can kind of do it like you do on here, have a conversation.
Yeah, you don't realize how much downtime there is until you have to be the one to fill it.
Yeah,
right, that's right. Especially if there's a major mechanical failure, and you got a lot of cleanup or sled breakage or anything. Sure.
Before the end of the show, I do want to talk about another pool that's happening this weekend. And our very own Chris and Corey Hoyt are headed to it out in Nashville, Illinois. Norm and I were very lucky enough to go out there last year. Unfortunately, this year they cut our class. But it is the Pullers Championship pool. It's kind of I think they call themselves, they're not trying to be exceptional. They're trying to be the exception. The basis of the pool is every single dollar on top of cost, like, your insurance, your sleds, all that, goes back to the pullers. So you don't know what the purse is you're pulling for until you get out there. Pretty cool event out there. The Beer Money guys put it on. It's at the Track at Holes Hours, 618 Motorsports. It is going to be this Friday and Saturday night, 6 p.m. It is live streamed. You can purchase the live stream at thepullerschampionship.com. That's their website. It is $25 per night or $40 for the weekend. If you want to go out to Nashville, Illinois, adults ticket is $20. Kids 10 and under is free. Going to have a slew of classes. They're going to have an 85 limited pro stock, 9,500 limited pro stock, super farm, pro stock tractors, diesel super stock tractors, light super stock tractors, four-wheel drive trucks, super stock diesel trucks, the mini tractors, modified tractors, and super semis. I'm not just saying this because Chris and Corey are very good friends of mine, but it literally is the best of the best in the pulling world. All your PPL and TPA Outlaw Championship tractors will be there. It is a fan-voted event. Double tracks, 2 big screens that they're showing, like the live stream back there at the pool too. Really good time. The guys treat you well out there. Definitely suggest getting the live stream. I know I am, because obviously watching the pool this weekend is going to be difficult. So, yeah, go out there. And some of our local guys are out there. So go support them.
Absolutely.
Sounds
I'm
like
sure
a pretty
Chris and
cool.
Corey would be okay with having a little extra purse money to come home. So,
Oh, yeah. I wish them well.
yeah,
Sounds like a really cool deal. Could we do that at Beast of the East?
absolutely. You
Sure.
line it up, we'll be there.
Anyway, I'm gonna correct one thing that you said, Kendra. You said the best. I say some of the best, because when I voted, there was, 10 times more than got voted in some class. I mean, there was a ton of.
Oh,
My
yeah.
mind was blown. Like, I couldn't believe how many names I went through trying to figure out who I was gonna vote for on some of the classes.
Yeah, I think what they do is they go through all the major organizations. So like PPL and all of the, what are they called? The sister organizations or whatever, like all the member states, all the member states of PPL. If you hooked with them, your name got in the pot. NTPA, same deal. Outlaws, Out West, all of those vehicles. If their class or something similar was pulling, they were part of that fan voting. So it's pretty neat.
Yep, that's cool. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, I guess we're gonna have to figure out how to have get a following like Beer Money pulling team has, and then maybe we can pull the same stunt off.
Yeah.
JR, come on, let's get it done.
We can make it happen.
Starts with a podcast, right?
Yeah, start somewhere, right?
Anyway, can I put a plug in for some of our sponsors?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then I got a couple of events I want to cover when you're done.
All right. I'll try to do this quick. Tommy Hassler came on Hassler Diesel as our title sponsor again this year. He is local and he wanted to do that, so he's our title sponsor this year. We have Tobacco Shed Motorsports. Does anybody know who Tobacco Shed Motorsports is?
Yes.
Jerry Martin.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
I knew Jerry Martin.
Jerry Martin has his hands in more pulling semi engines than you can shake his stick at. I think every time I walk in there, there's 4 or 5 engines sitting on the floor for anywhere and everywhere. And so he's big into that. East Coast Diesel's back on again this year. I seen East Coast Diesel is also one of the title sponsors for pro pulling.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I know
it's hard to remember what.
Actually,
I wasn't even sure what I was going to call it. I was ready to call it PPL, but
yeah, the new diesel class in East Coast Pro Pulling is East Coast Diesel 4x4.
There you go. East Coast.
The words
diesel.
Pro Stock are removed for obvious reasons, because the class is now open to super stock diesel trucks at a weight break. and 3-0. As long as you meet the safety requirements, come hook. $1,000 to win every hook.
Our next sponsor is going to be Lime Ridge Auto Sales. Sam King, he's sells a lot of nice trucks. He's in Mount Joy. He's been with us for quite a few years. Pro Diesel Works is back on again, so we're excited to have them. Wangers of Myerstown obviously is our a big sponsor. They've given us equipment. Crowd Farms works up the track every time. Albert Brown, he's our hitch guy. Renninger's golf carts, so we don't have to kill our legs. Ebling's Power Plus is back. They are a power equipment and tractor dealer. They give us some small machinery to move hitches and stuff around. Ruts Machine Shop, I'm not sure. Stockyard Styles. Emily is a friend of some of our team, and she helps us with some of our advertising and promotions. Precision Power and Accessories is Matt Horst's brother. They have a shop. It's actually his brother and a couple of guys. They have a shop in our area that does diesel. Davies Polishing, one-man operation that does truck polishing. VP Fire Systems is the company that Matt Balmer works for. They were one of our sponsors, and then Woodland Contractors and Billy Smeltzer is one of the big main ones. I'm sure there's a couple of more here that I'm missing, but that's what I have for tonight.
To answer the question on the screen, I am sure at whatever event is happening this weekend, yes, there will be Case IH vehicles there. I know in the light pro class, there's a couple internationals. Yep. I think we have more red tractors than green tractors at most of our events. I shouldn't say that. It could change.
Unless you count Deutsches as green, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Oliver's are green. There's that train whistle again. I'm telling you, I'm not crazy.
It's not here.
I don't know what it is.
I live on the top of a mountain. I'm sure there's no railroad here.
I have a railroad, but it's pretty far away, and I'm not hearing anything. So
I have to pull my ear.
Be something else. Must be something else.
So you know what's kind of funny?
It's like really faint.
I think one of my kids had a field trip to Strasbourg, and he came home with his little wooden train whistle. And that's why I've been pulling my ear muff, because I'm curious if there's a kid upstairs that's blowing this thing and I can't hear it.
I don't hear the train whistle. So
yeah, I didn't either. So I'm not sure.
It's an old man thing. It's okay. Anyway.
Plum crazy.
We got some goodies coming up here. A big one coming up here next Saturday. In Boonesboro, Maryland. And if you've never been to a Boonesboro, Maryland event, especially the Memorial Day event, you must.
You're missing out.
This has got to be on your bucket list. This is a fantastic pool, fantastically ran facility, and usually loads of puller numbers, and the crowd is usually stellar. So May 27th, 6 p.m., Washington County Tractor Pullers at the Washington County Ag Center, East Coast Pro Pulling, the Super Stock Pro Stock tractors, 7,500-pound modified tractors, 6,200-pound modified 4x4 trucks, the East Coast Diesel 4x4 trucks, limited Pro Stock semis, and a class that doesn't usually hook there. The 466 Hot Farm tractors will be there. Good numbers in all the classes we expect. And always is, and this has got to be on your bucket list. A fantastic event, fantastic facility, and the people that are in charge of that, putting this event on, do their job. So it'll be a decent track, I'm sure, if not good to above good. And please come out and support this event and support Washington County Tractor Pullers, tractor pulling, truck pulling, and East Coast Pro Pulling by all means. Stay tuned for videos afterwards too. Support Eastern Extreme Pulling too. But eat pulling videos. I have two names. I don't know why I did that. Just whenever years ago, like I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago, I started the YouTube channel maybe I changed it after. I can't even remember it's that long ago, but and I never fooled with it until about 2019. I'm like, man, you really screwed up. You should have been in that a long time ago. But Eat Pulling Videos, EEP, Eastern Extreme Pulling is what that stands for. But definitely like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Get out to Duane's and Crew's pool this Saturday. That's a bucket list pool. That facility, I can't wait to go see it. Even if it sprinkles a little bit, it's not my problem because Mike's going to be in the mud if it is. Because that's the track that Mike likes to film, so I'm good. Not my problem. But anyway,
Mike probably heard that we have milkshakes, right? It's coming for the milkshakes.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you what, those milkshakes are fantastic. But I don't think it's going to be that hot.
No,
but absolutely.
We might have to stick them in the microwave.
Yeah, tentatively June 2nd. There's a pool at Mason-Dixon here in Delta, Pennsylvania. There will not be a show next Wednesday. Unfortunately, I'm going to be away. If by chance I can get a signal where I'm at, I might try to do a remote live with Kendra. I will try. But please, by all means, keep. So
does that mean we're going to have some new footage for the camping portion of the Facebook thing?
I have a bunch that I haven't even looked at and touched, and I am catching you know what from you know who. I'm not having it ready. So, but,
guess what? Maybe you can show her how to run that computer.
Oh, she can run a computer.
Wow.
But the editing part is up to me, and
yep.
It's just so busy. But anyway, June 3rd. I don't have the classes again in front of me. I apologize. Sillins Grove, Pennsylvania will have a pool, and also the Delmarva Tractor Pullers will be in Eastern Maryland at Tuckahoe for their season opener for the antique tractor pool there. I do not have Joey's classes. I'm sure it's the usual.
At Snyder County.
6:30 p.m. Yes.
Yeah.
At Sillins Grove, Pennsylvania. And as well, that's another crew that does a hell of a job. They run a good show up there. And put all these pools on your bucket list. Come support Truck and Tractor Pulling. Promoters count on it, sticking their necks on the line. And we appreciate it. It gives us something to blabber about. And Snyder County needs to pull some semis. They have pulled semis there before on their championship weekend. So
I think if I have a pull that I enjoy the most outside of Pennsylvania is probably the Washington County pull. That and there I've been at many of times because it's just just a great
I'm pretty
pull.
partial to it.
That's a well-run event. It really is.
Yeah.
And usually gets very good pulling numbers. It's location there. It's a short drive for a lot of pullers that support the organizations here. So
I have some memories way back in the day of that pull. I remember going in there when I seen that sled for the first time that they used to use, and it had this chisel plow ripper thing on the back of the pan that would drop down, and I'm telling you, it would shoot dirt everywhere, especially in the semi class.
Oh, yes.
With one wheel in the middle, a 3-wheeler.
Did you do something?
Is Tommy Hassler going to be
What did
at
you say,
Boonesboro?
Duane?
I said
I think you were talking about his sponsorship.
Primary sponsor. I said main.
I don't remember what you said.
I said main sponsor. I think he wants me to say primary sponsor. So Hassler Diesel is the primary. Actually, I'm not exactly sure what the definition of primary is. That means almost the only one, or the first one. Okay,
Big
Tommy.
sponsor.
Tommy, you're first.
Grandiose.
Tommy.
I
Maybe
think
get Tommy on here one night. No excuses, no BS. We're going to get Tommy Hassler on here and just have a good old 1-hour talk with him. What do you think?
Tommy is the run what you brung class.
He is the Run What You Brung class?
I said I'd say that he is one of the Run What You Brung.
Oh! Ruh-roh.
At least it just said primary.
That could have gone really bad.
Yeah, that could have been a little bit of what's that, TMI or whatever.
Yeah.
Imagine the conversation we would have had if it said something else.
Shoo-wee.
Oh, awesome.
That's priceless.
See, this is one reason why I have to be careful what I say, because there's too many people listening.
Right. You know something I'm noticing tonight? As the later it gets, the more people are coming on, Kendra.
Yeah.
Should have been an 8:00 podcast. Oh, that's all right. I had all evening.
We may have to, we'll see. We may have to move back to the 8:00 time slot. I mean, we want to get as much on the live as possible, but I mean, it's available to view from now until there's no more YouTube. So, that's
if
ever
there,
gonna happen.
Yeah, if there's no podcast next week, results of our polling, I normally try to get them on the same evening before I go to bed in the morning. But if not, probably Sunday sometime. I'll try to have
I'm not out of position, or whatever the word is you want to say. When I get back, there's a Friday night maybe. Of course, Saturday we'll be pulling. Sunday.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying the results will be posted on Facebook, and we can also we can do results.
So you're basically telling the video guy to keep his yap shut when he's up there and don't bother me for results because he'll be online.
No. You get the results. This has nothing to do with you.
What helps me is the lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of pullers, but there's some that'll sneak in there and I don't know. So, but I can figure out who they are through.
Yeah.
Your results are good because you have the puller numbers that they drew. That makes life. Yeah. Your results so far have been great. So.
Yeah. And so sometime, I'm not exactly sure. What is today? Wednesday. Hopefully by tomorrow, our pre-registration link will be on Facebook. Wow. Okay. So if anybody is running late or just wants to pre-register, they still have to visit the registration booth to sign in, pay their tab and sign in. But they can do all their information online, and then all Jenny has to do is pop up their name on the computer and add their draw number, and makes life so much easier when she has 120 or 140 registrations to run through there by herself. So
I have to wear my comfortable shoes.
Say this again?
I said I'll have to wear you're talking 130, 140. I said I'm going to put my good shoes on.
Oh, well, I'm hoping that's what we get.
Yeah, I hope so. You bet.
I mean, there's a lot of, you were talking about guys that weren't making it out yet. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are having a little bit of issues again with getting parts and getting everything in a timely fashion.
It's an ongoing saga, man. I hear so many stories. And it's not like they waited till the last minute to fix stuff. They've been waiting for their parts that long.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I'm not in the parts biz, so.
Maybe we should be.
Come on, Hassler. Get with it, man. You need to open up another business there and hire me and Duane to sell your parts for you.
He is not listening anymore. He's talking with his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's a smart man, that's what he's
Trust me. Tommy's listening. Tommy's always listening.
Tommy's always on. His name's highlighted on the left-hand corner of your screen all the time.
Yep.
Can you see everybody that's on when you're doing this?
No.
Yeah. That's. I think there should be a running list so you can see exactly who's sneaking in there.
Yeah, there's enough to see on this. I have two screens open. I have two different monitors side by side open. I have enough to see without worrying about who's on and who's not.
Yeah.
A lot of the Facebook names won't come over here. So
yeah.
I guess actually they would too, because I see Tommy's on Facebook. So I stand corrected in the chat. But just because you're in the chat doesn't mean you're being counted on the actual program. So
On my comments on the right hand side, it actually has a Facebook icon on the people that are on Facebook.
Correct.
And then YouTube as
that's what mine is too. But that is not the same amount of people as it's showing me.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, so
I do.
I couldn't even tell you who all they are. So
I do. I run a live streaming. Run live streaming at our church, and that live streams through Facebook, and it tells me how many people are on, but it won't tell me who's on. I was like, come on now. Why am I not allowed to know?
I want to see who's not here so I can give them credit. You don't want to. It's not because you want to know who is watching.
I can tell you who's not watching.
Yeah.
Shame on
Ryan
him.
Morrison.
He's on all the time, but not tonight.
Yeah,
he'll come on it.
Yeah, he'll always give a thumbs up in the chat.
He'll come on at 8:30 if we're still here.
I also want to cover June 24th. We're a little late in hooks in June, but June 24th, Delaware International Speedway. We were Delmar, Delaware. We were there last year as a first-time hook there, and I'm telling you, I was blown away by the crowd. Blown totally away by how huge of a crowd they had there. A promoter said that's the largest crowd they ever had there. That's a dirt track roundy round, and only will be better this year. We're going to be there twice this year, but the first hook there is June 24th at 7 p.m. Again, Super Stock, Pro Stock. I'm sorry. Hot Farm, modified four-wheel drive, modified tractors, East Coast Diesel 4x4, and the limited Pro Stock semis. And June 30th, we start a nice big weekend at Shippensburg, 7 p.m. June 30th. That's Friday. Pro Stock Diesel 4x4, Light Pro tractors, modified 4x4 trucks, and the Super Stock Pro Stock tractors. July 1st at 7 p.m. Shippensburg, Pro Stock Diesel East Coast Diesel 4x4. Yeah, I tell you, man. You got to get used to saying it. Light Pro tractors, Super Stock Pro Stock tractors, and the limited Pro Stock semis. And then July 8th, we do go back to Boonesboro. We'll discuss more about that one later.
Look what I found. Did you know that there? Oh shoot, I can't see it. Where is it? Look at that.
There we are, right there.
Look at that. Polling videos is live right now.
How about that? See, Hassler's still here. See, I told you.
Yep.
Don't pick on him too much. He can take it though.
Well, you know what? There's a couple guys out there that are actively trying to promote all this pulling stuff. And he's one of them. So
he is definitely one of them.
Very thankful for that.
We appreciate it.
Yep.
You bet. Lamar, and on our end on East Coast Pro Pulling. I was going to get to it, Kendra.
Sound like you were struggling there.
No, I just thinking about what I'm going to say. Or combining, putting their money together, and it's $1,000 to win every East Coast Diesel 4x4 hook this year. Any hook, $1,000 to win. So
any East Coast Pro Pulling hook.
Yes. East Coast Diesel 4x4 truck class pays $1,000 to win. Yeah. That's how we'll word it. I don't want somebody coming in. Well, I got the one modified.
Yeah.
East Coast Diesel 4x4 pays $1,000 to win. Yes.
I was quick trying to.
And that goes to Mr. Carl Ankowitz as well.
I was quick trying to look at something here.
And yes, we have one Grand Pickle so far this year.
He won once, and now he broke it.
He broke the truck or broke the pickle. What did he break?
He broke something very important.
And with that, folks, we might be getting ready to. I'm starting to lose full control of the show. So. Hey, look, we say funny, and the numbers jump up quick.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're going crazy. I was just trying to see what we're what we normally put out in premiums for each pool. And I think most of our pools were like, I think we're close to the $8,000 range.
That's
$7,000 to
about
$8,000
typical. Yeah.
of payout per pool for all the classes. So,
And what sled company will be there? Dwayne?
excuse me.
What sled company will be doing your events?
The sled company this year is going to be
Other side.
this thing's in reverse. Kraus Sled Rentals,
Kraus Sled.
providing 2 sleds for the 3 pools that we have. So, yep. I've seen.
It's always backwards. Like if you want to point to Kendra, you got to do opposite.
Yeah. I have to look down to see where it's at because I can't go by the screen anymore.
It's really simple.
Just
Trust
backwards.
me, I always used to do the wrong stuff. Hey, is Kendra's up? Oh, she's over here. It's easy to do. All right, we've been on here an hour and 17 minutes. So,
And my screen just went black again.
uh-oh.
There it goes. It did it 3 times already. I don't know if you see me reaching for the top at one point. I just found out. I don't know.
It's Tommy Hassler doing it, man. He's primary. You got to remember that.
Primary.
Primary.
His wife is primary. Oh my. Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on again, and thanks for
Happy wife, happy life. Trust me.
Yeah, there you go. What does Kendra say to that?
The truck is the wife.
I was getting ready to say, if Kendra's got a wife, we're going to have a talk after we're off live here.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there something that we didn't know about?
No,
that was the perfect comeback.
The wife.
That was the perfect comeback. Perfect answer, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's time to get it wrapped up. My ice is all melted. Just kidding. But anyway, what I was going to say, thanks a lot for having me on. Absolutely. And helping to promote our operation. We're really excited about what's going to be happening this weekend. And I think that we're probably going to have a couple of hiccups because stuff has changed, but I think we have enough experience to make it fairly fluid.
You've got a good track crew. You guys will get through it with that. I think you'll be surprised how smooth it'll go. It should.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably your biggest step is the track because you're dealing with some new stuff. But it sounds like to me that you.
Well, we have a good track crew. That's for sure.
I'm not sure what Tom's trying to tell us here.
That was probably for his wife.
Everybody's a little confused today.
Must be something in the air.
Must be something. Okay. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Next Wednesday is very pending because trust me, where I'm going to be, it is very pending for internet service. So we'll see what happens. But if not, 2 weeks we'll definitely be back. Whole lots of results. And Kendra is going to have a couple of pools under her belt from Interstate, and we'll have Boonesboro. Duane, we're going to do our best to get yours covered too. So
that's fine.
Plan for a big results show in 2 weeks because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a problem Wednesday trying to do a live show over there. So, but
that's
I will try. So, and Duane, we'll see you. You hang on for backstage there, but we'll definitely see you Saturday, guys, gals.
Yep.
Bring the family. Plenty of food there. It's just a good time. They do a good job. They run 2 tracks and they keep it moving. So put it on your bucket list. Come to Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Beast of the East. They got 3 events this year. Kicks off this Saturday. You need to be there. Come support these guys. For the rest of y'all, thanks for tuning in. And hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday. If not, it'll be 2 weeks. No, Kendra, I'm not ready because I don't have the right screen open yet. Here we go. See ya.